Hey, what's going on YouTube? How you guys doing? Been a little while. We're back. A couple of weeks. I think that's all it's been. And we're going to do this about every other week. Today, let's talk about dieting versus cardio. I'm going to be honest with you, okay? I'm just like y'all. And if I'm wrong, correct me. Just go ahead and leave me a comment and just correct me. But I personally, I'm not a fan of dieting at all. So what are we saying? It's like I have to restrict the things, the food that I like to eat, and I'm not allowed to eat it. I mean, what's the point of living if I can't, enjoy the food that I want to enjoy? And secondly, cardio. Man, we're going to tackle two subjects today. Cardio. I don't like cardio. Not traditional cardio in any way. For me, why do I want to run? If I needed to get out of the way of something, if my life depended on it, I can pick these sticks up and put them down. I've been on the planet for a minute, okay? So I've been around a little bit. I'm not some young kid. But by stating that, I'm not some young kid that's been sitting on a couch for the last 12 years playing video games that really couldn't run around the block without getting tired. Now, that doesn't exist in my world. So, there's a trade-off there. Do I like doing cardio? I like playing basketball. I like playing sports. And do I do it? Haven't played hoop in almost 20 years. Do I like to run? No, I don't. It's hard on my joints. It's hard on my knees. It's hard on my ankles. It's hard on my back. So what can I do then if I don't do cardio and if I don't do diets? What can I do? Well, I'm going to get into depth. Let's just start with the first one. Let's start with dieting first off. There's this craze that's going around. These fad diets are blowing up on the internet. They are just blowing up. They're all over the place. They're on Instagram, they're on Twitter, they're on YouTube. I mean, no matter where you go, these fad diets are just going crazy with their claims to curing cancer. I'm not going to use the word hate, but it's a pretty deep dislike when I hear that type of misinformation out there. There are certain things that can solve certain problems, but let's just be straight right now. There is not a cure for cancer anywhere. If a ketogenic diet was a cure for cancer, everybody would be doing it. There wouldn't be anybody dying of cancer at all because the medical community would be all over it and trying to find a way to profit from it. So let's just talk about that in itself. These fad diets are nothing more than a temporary solution to a lifetime problem, okay? So you're going to live the rest of your life in your body. So why would you want to handle your situation temporarily only to be on these yo-yo type diets? Because you go on one, you lose a bunch of weight, and you just feel like crap. You're hungry all the damn time. You go off the diet, typically, you gain the weight back. Now, not all the time. 90%, the statistics say that 90% of people that lose weight will put that weight back on. Okay? That is not an erroneous statistic. That statistic is very factual. So you end up on this roller coaster thing. I'm not about any of that either. I'm all about basically keeping the same weight. I've been at the same weight for the last couple of years now. And and in bodybuilding and putting on some muscle, I got rather large. I was up around 215, I think, almost 220. And that was pretty big, about 16% body fat. I was looking a little buff. But to maintain that takes a lot of eating. It takes the maintenance schedule as far as working out. It's not that difficult, but it's the amount of food that you have to eat. So I said, you know what? Let's just make it easy on myself. Since I'm an ectomorph, gaining weight's difficult for me anyway, unless I eat really poorly. So, what kind of diet do I want to be on? And that's when I decided, you know what? I'm not going to do any fad diets. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find what's going to suit me best. Try to find that window, that area, because it's all about trial and error. This is the other thing that I see on the internet that just drives me crazy. It's like people asking other folks what it was that they did and how can they follow that exact same plan, thinking that that's going to work for them the exact same way. And I'm going to tell you something right now, it won't. Everybody's different. Chemicals affect everybody else's body differently. Food affects every other everybody else's body a little bit differently. So everybody is unique. You need to do some trial and error on your own. Don't be lazy and just ask people, well, how do I do this? How do I do that? Follow that plan, and then when you fail, you want to be mad at them. That'll work for them. You need to find out what's going to work for you. And that's going to take some trial and error. You're going to have to get up off your butt and actually find out what it is that your body's going to respond to. That's the beauty of all of this, okay? You might find that you can grow muscle at an exorbitant rate, faster than most. That makes your job simple. Why? Because lean muscle mass burns fat faster than cardio or calorie deficit eating, for that matter. Because you're always going to be at a state where you're going to be burning some fat when you've got some lean muscle on your body. Even when you're not working out, when you sleep, you're going to be burning fat. Well, quite honestly, that's where most of the fat gets burnt, is while you're sleeping, as long as you're not. We'll get into that. So that's why I don't think about, going on any of these crazy fad diets, because I already have figured out the way that my body best responds to that type of stimulus. If I work out and eat, body grows. Simple as that. So you have to find out what works best for you. That's the reason why I don't do fad diets, because I know what a fad diet's going to do. It's going to take me on a little journey, and once I leave that fad diet, I'm going to go on to that old habit-forming type of eating that I did before, and it's easy to fall back into. I've done it, so I don't suggest that you do it, okay? What I'm saying is that don't do fad diets. Don't do calorie restrictions. I'm sorry. Do calorie restrictions, but don't do specific type calorie restrictions. Like, don't restrict complete carbs. Don't just cut carbs out of your diet. That's not healthy. If you're allergic to meat and you want to go vegan, I'm not going to stop you. If it's going to help you to be healthy, go for it. Do it. But ketogenic diets and these Atkins diets, we'll definitely do a video about that too, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But those diets, man, are fad diets. They're dangerous in the long run. I don't suggest any of you doing that. If you want to lose weight, do it the slow, progressive way. Do it in the life-changing way. That new, you're about to go through a new change in your life, and you need to kind of embrace that and just be careful not to restrict specific types of foods, because once you do that, you're on a fad diet. Now, cut back on a little bit of this, cut back on a little bit of that. I've said that before. But don't go on these weird carb restrictive diets, protein restrictive diets where you eat nothing but fat. And don't do that. Unless you can sustain that and live that way for the rest of your life, it is not a lifestyle change. That is just a diet. Okay? All right. We're going to tackle a new subject, something that I'm actually doing a little bit of research on right now, so I don't have a whole lot of feedback for you just yet. But I do recall this was something that I did in my youth, accidentally, only because I was really bad at managing my time. And so I tried to fit everything that I could into one day, and I would curb my eating. So what I was basically doing, in effect, was I was intermittent fasting, and I did not know it. I'm going to get back into that. I typically am up for, I'd say, a good 12 to 14 hours before I eat a thing. So what do I mean by that? Well, I'm not exactly out of bed. What I mean by up is this. When I'm asleep, I'm burning fat. And that's where you want to be. You want to burn your fat during your sleep periods, and then, the first 4 hours once you wake up in the morning is another great window to just continue to just kill it. Now, if you go ahead and eat right after you wake up, you're introducing insulin to your body, and that's going to stop the fat burning process. So I'm going to delve into this a little bit more over here the next couple of weeks. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter. You can check out my before and after pictures on Instagram. That's Simpleuntruths at Instagram, same with Twitter. Check that stuff out there. And for that matter, if you've got some before and after pictures you want to share with us, just go ahead. I mean, whatever you need, if there's anything you need, advice, questions, comments, all of that, man, just go ahead and leave the questions and comments below. We'll definitely get back to you on that no matter what. I'm going to answer all your comments, because Lord knows when you're asking for help, you want a response. We'll get back to you. So leave your questions and your comments below. We're doing our best to keep all of these underneath 10 minutes. We'll be back in another couple of weeks with another video. You guys take care. Be cool.